Southampton are still on the hunt for their next manager after deciding to part ways with Will Still as a result of their dismal start to the season. Still's final game came in a 2-0 defeat to Preston North End at St Mary's, but they were able to get back to winning ways with a 2-1 win against QPR following his dismissal. As a result, the search for a permanent replacement is well underway, with a number of high-profile candidates being considered for the role. Football Insider revealed that Russell Martin is in contention to return to Southampton less than a year after the 39-year-old was sacked in December 2024. The ex-Rangers boss previously led the Saints to promotion from the Championship, and will now be tasked with achieving the same feat should he step into the role. Former Man United chief scout Mick Brown told Football Insider on 4 November that Martin is unlikely to return to Southampton despite being under consideration. However, as I revealed on the latest edition of Football Insider's Inside Track podcast, Martin is still held in high regard at Southampton and has admirers in the boardroom, so while it would be a surprise, his return has not been ruled out. The boss is not blamed for their dismal relegation from the Premier League despite his dismissal early in the season, and could be tempted into a return. Speaking on the Inside Track podcast, I explained, yeah, it would be a surprise if Martin was to return to Southampton, but he had big success at Southampton before. Obviously they suffered relegation from the Premier League, but he won promotion with them to get them into the Premier League in the first place. He has got admirers still down at Southampton for what he did there. I don't think there'll be a lot of blame placed on him for their eventual relegation from the Premier League and the manger in which it happened. For Southampton, it was a disappointing start for them under Will Still, and that win against QPR in midweek was their first since the end of September. They have such a talented squad, they should be higher up the table and challenging for promotion, so it's still an attractive job for a number of candidates. So I'm sure Southampton over the coming weeks will be looking to get their house in order and bring in a new manager. Martin is not the only candidate on Southampton's shortlist, with a number of high-profile targets being assessed since Still's departure from St Mary's. Frank Lampard and Mark Robins updates at Southampton. Among those tipped for the job are Coventry City boss Frank Lampard and Stoke City's Mark Robins, with both currently flying high in the Championship. However, Saints legend Matt Le Tissier told Football Insider that Lampard and Robins are unlikely to join Southampton given their current situations. As a result, the Saints may be forced to look elsewhere, with current interim boss Don de Eckert also in contention to take on the permanent role. Lampard's Coventry side are currently 4 points clear at the top of the Championship, with Robins' side not far behind, and neither are likely to leave their posts as things stand. This comes after Brown told Football Insider that Lampard is happy at Coventry and has no plans to leave, despite being linked with the Rangers job.